This card is actually pretty neat. It costs 5 to cast and 5 to use its ability, so it's not a quick card, but it's kind of like a rescue card because you can use it to exchange artifacts, creatures, or permanents. So basically, what you get to do is, say you're in trouble, and the other guy's got a big creature, or he's got an artifact that's, taking you out. You can just switch up with the person, so you don't have to worry about getting this countered either, because if you can bring this out, then you can go ahead and use its ability, because it's just kind of sitting out there. And so not only do you have that where you can basically prevent a counter of your spell, the other good thing is that it kind of acts like a defense mechanism to the other player bringing out big cards, because if you bring this out before there's big cards, then he may not want to bring those cards out because he knows that if he does, those are one of the cards you may want to take. So it may buy you a couple extra rounds of him just going slow or whatever. You never know. It all depends on the other player's style, of course. But that's one of my personal favorites. I like that. It's just kind of like a rescue card. Everyone's got their rescue cards that when you're playing, you're down or whatever, and you're just hoping, all right, I need this card, and then you get it.
Yeah. Here's an interesting card. I know some of you play, and you see that Sensei's Divining Top, right? You know, the one where you create all that madness for people.
Yeah, basically you can look at your top 3 cards over and over and over and
that's right,
move them around.
Well, what if they have the card on the top and you tell them to shuffle their library? Now, who knows where the top is?
Oh, yeah, exactly. That is kind of like a counter to that card. It's pretty nice.
It's very specific, but it has some use.
It does. Interesting.
Here's a nice land that controls the other creatures. You may choose not to untap Ice Flow during your untap phase. So you tap it and...
Oh, that's a good card.
Yeah.
My friend has that card.
Tap target creature without flying that is attacking you. As long as Ice Flow remains tapped, that creature does not untap during its controller's untap phase. Basically, you put him in a bind and you hold his creature hostage.
Yeah, exactly. And the nice thing is since it's a land, it's much more difficult to get rid of. Whereas if it's an enchantment, an artifact, or even, whatever, lands are much harder to destroy. I mean, there's very few cards that do it, like what? Stone Rain?
Stone Rain.
There's probably a couple other ones out there too,
Well, this is a non-basic land, so I guess Wasteland.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But the thing is that, it's much harder to get rid of a land. So if you can have a land that can do something useful for you, definitely want to put that in your deck.
Now, this is the first time I've seen this card. Should you put that up for him? It's interesting.
Fire Covenant. Fire Covenant deals X damage divided any way you choose among any number of target creatures, where X is equal to the amount of life you pay. And you cannot prevent this. So basically, sacrifice a little bit if you got a little extra to take things out. So basically, it's a fireball that doesn't require mana. It's interesting. It's a nice card. Nice card. Oh, these are always fun. These cards, the Goblin Artisans, where you are obviously not going to be able to read that print, but
what does it do? What does it do?
Basically, when you use this ability when someone casts a target spell, you can basically counter it, I believe. Yeah, basically, you tap this guy, and the opponent has to flip a coin. And if they flip a coin and it's their, choose head or tails, it's their choice, then you get to draw a card. If it's your choice, you get to counter the target artifact. So it may not be the most useful card, but just those kind of cards that they came out with, the ones with the coins and, you know, because I was reading a card the other day that was like, I forget what it was. It was something about, oh, here you go. It was a card that was like saying, basically, if you're playing with an ante, then you have to put another card onto the ante. Which I don't know how many of you folks out there actually play with antes when you play matches, but you know, if you do, they have interesting cards like that. There's some of the older cards, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So Magic, I don't think in the new sets, like in the 10s and the 12s, Magic doesn't do those kind of things anymore with the coins and the antes, the outside.
They wanted to get away from that gambling aspect.
Oh. Any particular reason?
Yeah, they wanted it to be more kid friendly.
Oh, okay.
Because back in the day, you know, you had old men playing for antes and taking all the little kids' cards.
No, he's just kidding. But still, though, you know, if you wanted to, say if your friend had a card that you wanted, you know, you could play a game, and that's one way to get it. Make sure you read his deck beforehand. Little trickery right there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of Urza's lands here. It's interesting. So
you have one of the one Urza's land that I don't have, and that's the mine. I don't have Urza's mine. I got everything else. I got a couple of everything else except the mine for some reason.
Trying to figure out what else to show you guys.
Looks like what about these right here? Oh, did you already show all those?
Here's a legendary creature.
Prevent up to 2 damage to any creature. So basically, it's just one of those white cards that can prevent damage. Nice. We got another one, Horn of Deafening. This card right here allows you to have target creature deal no combat damage this turn. Basically, make them deaf.
Make them deaf.
Yeah, make them deaf and blind at the same time.
Here's one of the best walls in all of Magic, in my opinion.
Wall of Shadows. Why is it? Because of the fact that it can't be the target spell's abilities?
Well, they can only target walls. I'm sure there's better walls now, but back in the day, that was pretty hard to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty good card. I have a card similar to that, Uncle Esteban. It's also a black card. It basically any damage you do to it, it reduces it down to 0. So it's like you didn't even do anything to it.
Here's one that used to be pretty good.
Oh, Jins. Whoa, don't want it to fall. During your upkeep, target non-wall creature an opponent controls gains Forest Walk until your next turn. Ignore this effect if there are no legal targets. Basically, that's something you don't want to happen to you, but because it only costs 4 mana to bring out a 4/5, that's why it's there.
So what I'm trying to do now is just look at what I got and if it was worth it. Because for 200 cards, it's what, 10 cents a card?
Oh, yeah, something like that. For what you paid for it.
Yeah. So it's definitely worth it. A lot of the cards are in played condition.
So they're not mint. What condition would you qualify them as?
Moderately played, lightly played, and heavily played.
I didn't see any real creases though in them, so that's good. I mean, here's the thing though, since you didn't get any cards, I mean, what's the most expensive card you think you got in the set?
Well, offhand, I'd have to go with the, oh, sorry about that, Tormund's Crypt.
Tormund's Crypt.
Now, The reason for this